this YouTuber named Nikki Phillippi or Phillippi. I don't even know. Nikki Phillippi? She's some kind of influencer. I don't even know who this is, but I have to make a video about this because I'm really feeling riled up and my blood is boiling right now. She and her husband are being criticized for putting their family dog down because it was aggressive and bit her son. I read a little bit about this case. The dog had shown aggression multiple times over the last few years, and so they did the right thing and they put the dog down. And people, of course, are losing their minds because, like I've said for years, dog life has become more valuable than human life. And the dog can never do any wrong. And the dog is never to blame. And it's always the people's fault. And there's never any justifiable reason to euthanize a dog. And I am so sick of this. It is so infuriating and so bewildering because I'm hearing about one case after another of a child being mauled by the family dog, a child being killed by the family dog, over and over and over again. And as a society, we tolerate this. We allow it to continue. Why? Why do we tolerate this? And by the way, just look at this mutated dog. What an ugly creature. Unbelievable. How could anybody think this dog is cute? What is wrong with people? Oh. There are YouTubers making videos of the couple, shaming them for what they've done, calling them murderers. There are so many hate comments. I agree with my viewer Z Oliver, who wrote, "It makes absolutely no sense to me." If you listen to their original video, they talk about how the dog would run into their backyard fence and bash itself over and over again into the fence to try and escape so it could get at other neighborhood dogs. People are freaking out because the child tugged on the dog's ears and gave it cauliflower ears. One woman in a comment said because of that, the child should be euthanized. It's just absolutely sickening. Apparently, the dog bit the child in the face because the child stole its food. And they're saying that that's a justified reason for the dog to react that way. But you know what? If I had a family member, and these people are constantly referring to their dogs as family members. If I had a family member that would injure my child because my young child who doesn't know better reached over and took some food off their plate, that person who injured my child by either cutting them in the face or something, they would be removed from my home. They would be put in some sort of place in order to keep my family, my children safe. We don't tolerate this sort of uncivilized, volatile, violent, deranged behavior when it's a human engaging in it. Change the species to a canine, and all of a sudden, the very same behavior becomes justified. Family members don't do this to one another. If they do, they are put away in some sort of insane asylum. They are removed from society because they are a danger to others. And if it is wrong to euthanize a dog, then it is also wrong to cull mink, to cull rats, to go fishing, to shoot a partridge or a moose, or to kill any of the peaceful, gentle, harmless herbivores you happen to like the taste of. And if your dog is just an animal that is just acting on instinct and blah, 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 and you're going to be all apologetic for it and make excuses for it, then quit calling it a family member. Call it what it is, an unpredictable, remorseless, bloodthirsty predator. They're saying things like, oh, the dog should be rehomed. Okay, put it in a home with no children, and then what? What, are there no children in the neighborhood? Do the friends and family of these new owners have no children? Who can ensure that the dog is never going to come into contact with children? Like what? They're never going to take it to the park? They're never going to walk the dog? Is there a child-free neighborhood anywhere where this dog is going to live? The dog has shown that it is aggressive towards children. So nobody can ensure that the dog is never going to escape its enclosure or break free from its owner. The dog is a danger to society. It needs to be put down. This is a no-brainer. And these people who are criticizing Nikki Phillippi or whatever are, supposed to be dog lovers, right? This dog that was euthanized had been involved in several incidents over the past few years where it injured other dogs. If they were dog lovers, would they not want to keep other dogs safe from this dog aggressive or dog reactive? They call it reactive to downplay the seriousness of it and camouflage the reality of it. The dog is aggressive towards other dogs. What if they love dogs? What do they want to keep this animal around for? It's going to attack other dogs, regardless of whether or not there are dogs in its home. It's going to go out into the neighborhood. Oh, and in the article I read, they're saying things like, oh, the decision to euthanize a dog is never an easy decision to make. It involves the input of many professionals. This requires the input of exactly 0 professionals. This is a very easy decision to make. Why are people making this a difficult decision? It's not. I know somebody who, back in the early 80s, his sister was bitten by a dog, the family dog. The family put the dog down, no questions asked. There was no social stigma attached to this whatsoever, and that's the way it should be. Humans have become less valuable than dogs somehow in my lifetime. And every day I wake up and I wonder, what the fuck is going on? How did this happen? How does a shit-eating scavenger, a remorseless, bloodthirsty, unpredictable, predatory scavenger with a brain the size of a lemon or smaller, that is fully instinct-driven, that lacks the ability to love or feel empathy, that has no sense of morality, that will contribute nothing to society? And why do people have so much emotion involved when it comes to dogs and killing dogs? They don't care at all about killing pigs or cows or moose or fish or turkeys or chickens or any other animals that we kill, that in some cases are smarter than dogs and just as sensitive, right? What makes dogs exceptional in their minds? It's so crazy. What makes dogs exceptional is that unlike cows and pigs and ducks and geese and squid and octopus and tuna and, I could go on and on. What makes dogs exceptional is that they are the ones mauling people, mainly children, every single day. The other animals aren't. Most of those other animals are either not in our communities, they're not a problem, or they're peaceful. They just don't cause the problems dogs cause. If any animal deserves to be killed, it's a dog. When did people stop caring about babies? When did people stop caring about the elderly? Because the elderly are dogs' second most preferred targets. They go after children first and then the elderly. And they do this because these are the weak, vulnerable people in our society. Just imagine advocating for an animal that attacks children. Just imagine advocating for an animal that attacks the elderly. Just imagine we live in a society where these people are held up as morally superior to those of us who would like for these attacks to stop. They are entirely preventable. We can rid our communities of these unpredictable predators. People have lost their minds. Dog worship is a sickness. It's out of control. It sounds crazy to say that dog life has become more valuable than human life, but this is not a joke. This is true. Whenever anybody makes the decision to get rid of their dog, there is a huge social stigma attached to that. I experienced this when I got rid of my dog after my son was born. People were treating me like a monster. For what? For wanting to keep my child safe from a remorseless, unpredictable predator? Getting rid of the family dog is the right thing to do, especially if you have kids, but even if you don't, because there are kids in your neighborhood. There are elderly people in your neighborhood. And there are other people in your neighborhood who are neither children nor elderly. Dogs attack them as well. Whether or not that dog has shown any aggression in the past, choosing to euthanize it is the right thing to do. All dogs are unpredictable. Most dog attacks involve family dogs that were the quote-unquote best dogs for many years. They were raised with love. They were well trained by responsible owners until one day their predatory drift kicked in and they went after a child in a completely unprovoked attack. And even when that happens, the children are blamed. People ask me why I'm so angry. Why are you not angry over the fact that children are being attacked every day when they are walking to school, riding their bikes, stepping off the school bus, minding their own business, and still getting blamed for these dog attacks, while the dogs are being upheld as innocent, unconditionally loving? It is so completely backwards and so sick that there is something seriously wrong with you if you are not enraged. Let me know what you think about this case. It's not just one case. This is it's a phenomenon. Just because this person is famous, we're hearing about it, right? But anytime anybody chooses to get rid of their dog, whether it's just because they are finding themselves with little time to take care of it. And this is another thing, even if they're getting rid of the dog for its best interests, even if they are giving it to somebody who can take better care of it and give it a happier life, they are still the villain. They, a dog is for life. What if, you're making the right decision for the fucking dog? And in my case, that's what I did. The dog ended up in a better home with people that had more time to take care of it, and who really wanted it. You'd think they'd be happy I gave it away. But nope. Anyway, I made a video called Humans Are Disposable, but a Dog is for Life, or something like that. I feel like I'm just living in this giant insane asylum and I want to get out, but there's no escape. And it's driving me crazy. People would really seriously rather see a child be euthanized, than a dog. They would rather have this child be put down. I'm not exaggerating. This is how dog worshippers think. They would rather the child be put down for just being a child. Children are just being children. They're minding their own business. When the dog becomes triggered by the child's high-pitched noises or their frenetic movements, and the dog sees the child as a prey animal, and its predatory instincts are triggered and it attacks the child, I could go on and on. I've had enough. I gotta get my blood pressure to come down. This is just too much. Nikki Phillippi, you did the right thing. Congratulations. Thank you for keeping your child safe. It's just too bad you had a dog in the home to begin with, but I can't really blame you, just because, like everybody else in society, you were brainwashed to believe you needed a dog to make your family complete, and that it was good to have a dog in the home, and that dogs are loving, and blah, 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 blah. All these lies that we are fed from the day we are born. I have a video coming up soon about how this is one massive con. We are being conned. But thank you for keeping your child safe henceforth, and for keeping everybody in your community safe from this worthless, useless, unnecessary danger. Thank you for ridding your community of it. Please don't get another They are all unpredictable. Not all dogs will attack, but you never know which ones will. You never know when they will. It is like playing Russian roulette, not only with the life of your child, but with the lives of everyone in your community. It's only a question of time before people wake up to this fact. The future is dog-free.